Have you ever bit off more than you could chew with the project? Or maybe you just overcommitted on something that you really have no clue how to do? Well, that's us. We've been upgrading our cockpit on our Norseman 447 sailboat over the last 6 months, and we just had one last project to tie it all together, a cockpit enclosure. Having an enclosure is not a necessary item on a sailboat, but when you're stuck at the helm with howling wind and rain, you're gonna want a buffer between you and the weather. It saved us on our last boat, so we really wanted to make this happen. We just returned to Cosmica in Fort Pierce, Florida, who's been patiently waiting for us in a marina after having to leave town for a few weeks. Our friends aboard Motherlode Sailing have a Sailrite sewing machine and a car they're willing to loan us. And our friends at McFarland Canvas are kind enough to offer assistance and guidance on how to tackle what will turn out to be a huge project. It was a perfect situation, if we can pull it off. Step 1 was to make the template, which, never having done this before, kind of felt like nailing Jello to a wall.
I think we're gonna have it like with this.
But we give it our best and jot down lots of notes. Our friends who do this professionally assured us to trust the process, that many of the straight lines will be perfected on the table, as long as our anchor points were on target. Afterwards, it was time to leave the marina and head back to the anchorage and get ready for some long days in our friend's garage.
Right there.
Okay.
Hold it and just around there.
I guess either way's fine, I think. Right?
That one little bobbin all spoiled up.
The first few days were simply figuring out the machine, with a dash of, what the hell did we get ourselves into? Look at this barefoot wonder. But after much trial and error, binge watching Sailrite how-to videos on YouTube every evening, reminding ourselves of our friends' wisdom to trust the process, we continued to just try. What we lacked in skill, we certainly made up for in persistence. The days ran together like an emotional roller coaster ride, feeling pumped as we inched along, yet knowing we were way in over our heads. Either way, we already bought the material, so there was no turning back.
Off to sew our enclosure.
Borrowing our friend's beautiful car.
Antique.
This bad boy right here. Alright, so we're heading back to the shop to get some more work done on the enclosure. I think it's going pretty good.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to make some adjustments. We're gonna go ahead and get the pieces made and then see how they fit and then make the adjustments. So I feel like we could chase our tail with that.
We don't have an unlimited amount of time in the shop, and we got the starboard side panels all up. Started the port side yesterday, and then we'll have the back panel. But everything's coming together. We're gonna get it all done, then put it up.
Fingers crossed the port side fits a little tighter than the starboard side did.
Good.
Dud.
Did dud.
Hopefully it's not a dud. We started this from nothing. We didn't even know how to sew. And luckily, our friends Seven and Ben with McFarland Canvas are awesome and have helped us out so much. We really can't thank them enough.
Our friend Amy and MJ from Motherlode Sailing, they have a Sailrite, so we're borrowing their Sailrite to do this enclosure. And we might start looking for a Sailrite because now that we know how to sew moderately well, I guess.
Moderately might be putting it nicely.
Right. But we got other sewing projects. As with anything, you do it yourself. It's a good learning process. and you save yourself some money. And if something happens while you're out at sea, stitching comes undone, a sail gets torn, you can sew it back together a lot quicker than hand stitching.
We're gonna try and knock some more panels out, and wish us luck.
Go! Let the bobbin fall out. Fixing the bobbin. Cleaning the bobbin.
Brendan has been the machine technician here because I don't have as much patience as him, I guess, I think.
That might be accurate, but I'm not going to say it.
Wow. It's a hot one today. Another full day at the shop, and it's time to go home for now. We spent one more full day to finish the panels, but we were nowhere near done. Okay, now we have the panels back on the boat, and we're gonna test fit them to see where we need to make our adjustments.
So we've got all the panels done. We need to make sure our measurements are correct or not, and the adjustments that we need to make. So we're about to put up all the panels and see how it all looks. But we're excited, you know?
Very excited. Hopefully, we don't need to make too many adjustments. But from the get-go, our number one priority was to make it functional. It may not be the prettiest thing you've ever seen. Functionality is our goal.
Right. And we don't have the snaps on the bottom or any like Velcro. So we need to do all that. We need to make, stops for the zippers and everything. So we know we still got a couple more days of projects, but we need to test and make sure like we've got our lengths at a good spot where we want them.
It's a good time to remark where the snaps are supposed to line up versus our initial measurements before we started touching any of them, before we even learned how to sew.
Doing this project, which is actually probably a pretty big project for first-time sewers, first-time seamstresses.
Hey, high five.
But we'll probably end up buying a Sailrite at some point because we do have other projects that we want to do, and we have the confidence now that we can at least half-ass it.
I think that this has been a really good opportunity for us to learn a new skill under the right conditions. Mm-hmm. The stars aligned. So no matter how it turns out, we at least learned something from it. Mm-hmm. And we worked together as a team.
It was great. Look at this. Perfect. Yeah, this is positioned pretty well, and we can use these marks right here and here for like snaps. Here, all these push buttons. You can mark where that is right there. Mm-hmm. We just have to mark exactly where, that lies. Up here, snaps are, some sort of way to pull this tight.
I want a flap.
So for this front edge, I think we should sew in a flap like all the way down, all the way across. Yeah. But for this back edge, I don't think we need to. I think we need to have something to pull this in tight here, Mm-hmm. And then also in the middle up there.
On the first side, I don't know what happened, but my measurements were wrong because this is certainly not going to fit this size. I think when I was putting in these side pieces, I didn't account for all of them in total. Luckily, I redeemed myself slightly on the other side because the measurements were great. So maybe this is somewhat similar. We can kind of copycat a mirror.
It looks like it's perfect.
Look, it even has the cutouts. Not too shabby. Another day done.
Another day. Windy day.
It's coming along though. Still got stuff to do. Although the initial fitting went fairly well, at this point, we're both ready to be done.
I lost my bobbin.
The pressure of time was looming above us because we want to head to the Bahamas, but we're already so late in the season. Many sailors are already returning at this time. But we could see a light at the end of the tunnel, so we trudged through the next few days making our adjustments, installing fixtures, and trying our damnedest to grind this all out.
So all of these push fittings into different areas of the canvas to keep it held down. Button fittings on there to hold down the canvas. Still have to do a couple more like in the center, but we'll worry about that later. Coming in nicely, we also have to put some Velcro here for around the corner.
And a couple buttons
And
on the top and then the bottom.
but I'm not installing all the buttons as of right now. I'm installing most of them. Most of the buttons. I got like a bag of like 20 of them. I might need more than that. It's just been super fun.
Looks good. Yeah, we will actually have to redo this.
What you doing?
Cutting clamps.
Cutting flaps. That is gonna go in between the Dodger and the Bimini and the
Yeah,
Can't-
between the Dodger and Disney, but also
Yeah.
2 top flaps. When it comes together, it'll block out the rain. Be ready.
We did it! We did it! Look at it. It's all back there, you know? All of our leftovers and the whole enclosure.
Whole thing.
Took us like 2.5 weeks.
Long time, but we did it.
Yeah, very long time. I grew a mustache while we were...
And you don't grow mustaches very
I
fast.
don't grow mustaches very fast, and I grew one.
The test of time.
The test of time. But yeah, we're gonna take it back to the boat, put it up. Probably won't do too much for the rest of the day. It's getting like kind of late. Put all the rest of the fixtures in tomorrow, so we'll have it all finished up. It's very exciting. Victory! Buttons.
And after a final day of securing all the puzzle pieces, we are so proud to show y'all the end result. Tackling this project was no small feat. It was a big one. And yeah, our new enclosure might not win any beauty contests, but it's functional and that's what counts. It's already held strong through several storms since we've filmed this. The old Bimini frame? Wobbly as a wet noodle. No headroom at the helm, and the sun-fried plastic windows were begging for retirement. Now, we've got ourselves a solid hardtop Dodger, sturdy enough to stand on with a clear acrylic windshield up front. Behind it, a multi-purpose Bimini with actual headspace, 300 extra watts of solar on top, and even a built-in rain catchment system that feeds straight into our DIY Baja filter. We took Cosmica out for a much-needed day sail, partly to test out all the new upgrades, and partly just to stretch our own legs. It's been way too long since we actually sailed her, after being buried in boat projects for what feels like forever. Like we mentioned before, the plan is still to cruise to the Bahamas for a couple months, before we inevitably have to hightail it north to dodge peak hurricane season. So, with the Cockpit project finally behind us, it was time to shift gears. The next few days? Less glamorous, but just as important. We hit the laundromat, restocked provisions, and slowly transformed Cosmica from a floating workshop back into the world traveler she was built to be. In the next episode, we finally leave Florida behind, cross the Gulf Stream, and make our way to the Bahamas. We hope you'll join us and see what kind of shenanigans we manage to get ourselves into next. Thanks for watching. Adventure's just around the corner.
My car like rolling right through here right now.
Welcome to the Bahamas.